Welcome back, guys. Welcome back to another video. Today's video is another girl talk featuring my sister-in-law.
Hello.
Summer Herb. Everyone says that we look alike. Do we look alike?
I don't think so.
You'd be lucky to look like me.
Okay.
All right, so I asked you guys on Instagram if you had any questions about marriage/relationships. So this is today's topic. And we got a lot of really good ones. So we're gonna answer them together. So for context, obviously I'm married and she's not.
Nope.
So I'm married to Summer's brother and she's not married to anyone's brother. So you'll get a perspective, you get, I think, two separate perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
They might actually
I think
connect.
they'll coincide.
Yeah,
I think
they
they'll
might.
coincide.
Let's get started. Are you nervous, excited?
I'm a bit nervous because I'm not a camera person.
Like your brother.
Like my brother.
But I think you'll do well. I think you'll do well.
Let's see. You guys tell me in the comments if I'm
She
if I'm
needs
a
some
decent-
help.
Please don't give me a thumbs down. Is that a thing on YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay.
First question is, what age do you think it's appropriate to begin seeing people? What do you think, Summer?
I don't think there's an exact number. I think it depends on your maturity level. That could be 18, that could be 25. I think it depends on when you're ready and when you feel like, in my opinion, I think you should only get married once you've figured out yourself first. And then perhaps,
I always say that.
Giving yourself or sharing your life with somebody else is part two. I think part one is figuring out who you are as a person and then going forward. That might come at a young age, that might come at a later age. So I don't know if there's an exact number per se.
Do you think there's like an age where it's like a no? Like you're too young?
For me personally, I do have a cutoff. I feel like younger than 18 is just, or maybe even, I don't know, I'm going to say 20.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
20.
Yeah, I agree. I think there isn't like a specific age. Like, I don't think there's like, a max or a minimum. I mean, like minimum, you don't want to be a child, obviously.
Yeah.
But also, I don't feel like there's a max either because I think growth and everyone's journey in life is a little different.
Yeah.
Like, there's some people that are like more invested into their career and school and all that. And then there's other people who, that's not really their priority.
Yeah.
So they have more opportunities to kind of seek out and get to know people. So it just depends on your life, really. I don't think
That's
it's
true.
like, okay, you're 25, you have to be married. Like,
Yeah, let's just put it this way. To all the females out there, your eggs won't fossilize. So,
I mean,
eventually, but if we're talking 30 and under, like, it's okay to not be married at 22, 23.
100%. Yeah. So there's no appropriate age, I would say.
Yeah.
I think when it feels right. When you'll know when you're ready to take on that responsibility because it's a huge step.
Yes.
It's not like an easy thing. This is a juicy question. Are you ready for our juicy questions?
Okay, disclaimer, I might not answer them. You can answer them, but...
Summer is so reserved. She doesn't like the juiciness. Don't worry, this is a very judgment-free zone.
I'm conservative.
Okay, I'm liberal.
You're very liberal.
Do you wish you had more sexual or emotional experience with other people? Now, I know you're not married, but I guess we can flip this question in a sense, like, do you wish, like, you could have that experience, like, the typical dating life before marriage, or does that not bother you?
No, it doesn't bother me. I think there's a fine line, and I don't want to say this. Again, I'm very conservative. So what I will say is, it's okay to not have that and think, in the future, you may be able to understand through your friends. That's one perspective, like kind of see give and take from other people. You don't necessarily have to go through it to know what it's supposed to feel like. I think I'm the type of person that likes to learn through people, and I don't know. It's a tough question. Personally, I don't have experience in that regard, but I'm sure your answer is going to be what they want to hear.
I actually think similar to what you're saying. Like, I think it depends. Like, I feel like society makes you feel like you're missing out on a lot. Like, if you're in a society where it's normal to not have, sexual experience or dating prior to marriage, then it's the norm, right? You don't feel like you need it. Whereas when you're in a society that it's abnormal not to have that experience before marriage, then you feel like you are missing out. But it all comes down to knowing that at the end of the day, like, you're really not missing out on anything. All of those things, like, that you could learn throughout your dating years or whatever, you can learn them in a very short period of time. And it's even more special when it's with someone that you care about and that you know is your forever person. I would rather that and struggling a little bit with learning how to do things than to do it with the wrong people and then, be heartbroken or be like almost like damaged in a way. Like my heart would be damaged because you go through all those things and it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's also a blessing in waiting. It's not all a bad thing. Like, it's not a bad thing at all. And I don't know, I think we should be less invested in what the Western idea of dating and like getting to know people is, and rather go with what you feel is right for you and according to what your religion says as well. Because I think that's way more important than the social standards, right?
Yeah, sometimes, when people say having a lot of experience in a certain area is good, sometimes inexperience is a good thing.
Yeah.
So I see it as that way. You don't have to be
Yeah.
experienced in everything.
Yeah, there's no like right or wrong in those kind of situations. And when you're with the right person, everything feels right regardless of whether it goes right or wrong,
That's
you know?
true.
So it's not something to be worried about. Another question is there a way for me to know if I am ready for marriage? Does it feel like a flick of a switch moment? So I guess we could say like Summer. Was there ever like an age or a moment or a time that you were like, bing, I'm ready?
That's a very good question,
Yeah.
actually. I would say I was not ready before 20. That's why I had that cut off in my mind. But after finishing undergrad, so 4 years of university, I would say mentally I was prepared. So that was 22, 23. But at the same time, I feel like I'm just as ready as then than I am today. So I don't know if there's ever a switch.
Yeah.
It just mentally for me, I don't think I would have been able to have a relationship and, go through law school, etc., without problems. Maybe I could have done it, but I feel like I would have had a lot of problems along the way.
Yeah.
And it would have made it very difficult to manage. So
I get that. Yeah, I feel like there isn't like a switch. I think it depends on each person. Like for me, I always told myself like, work on yourself first, work on your studies, your career, figuring out your life first before you introduce, someone else into your life. And I think it's only fair to do that for you and for the other person, because if you guys like join in a time where both of you guys don't know what you want in life, that's when the problems start, because you'll start figuring it out along the way and it might not match.
Yep.
So when you already know what you want and he already knows what he wants, then you know that you guys are what you guys want, you know? Yeah. So I feel like, I don't know, there isn't like a switch or like a moment, like an aha moment or anything like that. It's more so gradually and organically you feel more ready and you feel more open to the idea. That's what happened to me. Like I think around the end of my like undergrad at university, I was like, you know what, if someone does approach me, I feel like I'd be open to talking to them now. But before I was very closed off.
were you in your third year or your fourth year?
I was probably in my end of third year probably.
So you were 22.
22, I think. I think 21 actually, and then I was turning 22.
Right.
Yeah, that's when that happened. But I wasn't even planning for it or anything like that. I just had in my mind like, you know what, Jasmine, if if it comes to you, just let it happen. So it happened.
Yeah. Oh,
So,
thanks to me.
Summer made it happen. Apparently. This one's a little juicier.
Oh God. You're really testing me here.
Okay. Is talking about sex before marriage okay? So, I know a lot of you girls are like super curious about that topic, especially since a lot of us don't have experience in that topic before marriage. So is it okay to like, when you're getting to know someone, let's say you're really serious and you're like almost gonna get engaged soon, is it okay to open up that topic with that person? Or do you feel like that topic is like reserved for after marriage only?
I think you can only have that conversation once you're positive that's the person you're going to marry. That's a very awkward at least in my opinion, it's a very awkward conversation to have with someone you just got to know.
Yeah.
I think it has to be very serious, at least, introducing that person to your family, etc. And then, close enough to the engagement. I think it may be okay, but then again, like, I think there's religious
boundaries. And I'm also wondering, like, what questions are you exactly wanting to ask? Like, I'm trying to think of the questions that would be relevant for me to ask someone that I'm getting to know. Like, I honestly can't think of anything that would, like, really be so relevant for me to discuss before marriage. I feel like that's a very upfront and awkward, like, conversation to have before marriage.
I agree with you.
Because it's a very vulnerable conversation to have. And I personally would not feel comfortable being vulnerable with someone that is not my husband. You know what I'm saying?
You're
like,
right.
I feel like that's what... And that's also a part of, I guess, from our religion. Like, it kind of gives us that boundary.
It's rooted in religion,
yeah,
absolutely.
It kind of gives us that boundary not to discuss, like, inappropriate things. Because, like, let's say you do discuss these things and you talk about something intimate with that person, and then you don't end up getting married. And then that person knows, like, these intimate things about you and what you want and what you don't want. Like, that's a little too much for someone that doesn't end up marrying you, So
I personally think it would be an after discussion, not a before, but
at least from, like, personal experience, I would say, like, after.
Personal experience, but
but my personal experience, I would say after, not before. But who knows? Maybe other people are, like, more liberal than me.
You're pretty liberal.
Another question is, isn't it anxious going from not even being able to hold hands to being intimate? I think that's a very good question.
I don't know. I wouldn't know.
Like, don't you think it would, like, you've never been able to hold hands with someone, and suddenly, like, you get married and there's this expectation that you're supposed to do all these things that married people do, and you haven't even, like, held hands or kissed anyone or anything like that.
But I think that's the beauty behind it. Waiting and then having that experience with somebody that you genuinely love, waiting it out for so long, I think learning that and going through it is beautiful. Yeah. I don't see it as, maybe, of course, you'll probably be nervous, and it may feel abnormal to you, but I think that's a beautiful experience that you get to experience with somebody that you love. So I don't know.
I agree. I think there's beauty in it, and I think you understand your partner in a whole new way when you get to know them outside of the sexual aspect of a relationship. Like, when you focus on, like, emotional and spiritual connection and all that kind of stuff, I feel like you build a stronger bond than something over, like, a sexual bond. But I still think you would feel anxious going from never doing something to doing everything. Like, it's definitely a huge step. A lot of people in the Western world go through it gradually as they get older, whereas we're expected to do it like right on the spot. And that's why having an understanding partner is key. I definitely get the idea of it being, like, weird, going from nothing to something. But don't overthink it. It's not that, like, it's not that really that big of a deal. It will come naturally to you, especially if you are with someone that you're comfortable with. I think that's the most important thing.
We're human beings at the end of the day. I think we're created a certain way to feel certain things, to go through certain things. I think it comes at the right moment, and I think the religion that we follow, there's certain rules in place on purpose, so that I think personally, once you go through that, it's more or less a new experience, and it's an experience that is meant to be beautiful. So
it's for our benefit.
For our benefit, absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. This one is a funny one. Okay. Do I show him my hair during the talking stage as a hijabi? Okay, we're gonna say our answer. 1, 2, 3. No.
It's like, hello.
Hello. No, don't ever feel the need to show anyone your hair at any stage at any time other than your husband. Because no one deserves or is even allowed to see your hair before you guys have any, like, marriage contract between each other. Like, why? That means, like, any person I talk to, I can just, like, whoop,
hello.
Like, peekaboo. No, don't show anyone your hair. Yeah. Is it wrong to be upset by your spouse's past?
Ooh, this is a good one.
This could be like a whole video on its own. This is a very big topic. So what do you think? Do you think, is it wrong to be upset about someone's past, even though it's their past? Like, how do you feel?
I have 2 answers.
Okay.
yes, in a way, depending on what it is. If I were to get to know someone, I want to know everything, full disclosure.
Okay.
If I find out things that I don't actually like, I'm human for saying, I didn't like that you did this, for example. But also, sometimes with a past, it could bring other problems in the future, meaning, I don't know, like, this person is my friend, you were with my friend before. Subconsciously, yes, it's going to be problematic, but I would ask for a full picture before, going to level 2 with that person in our ta'arruf stage, in our
getting to
know each other stage.
Yeah. But do you feel like you have the right to be upset about someone's past? Like, it's their past, it's gone.
You can't necessarily judge them based on their past, meaning like, oh, I'm not going... Actually, it's your choice whether you want to continue talking to that person or not based on their past. But for me personally, if you've given me a full picture and not tell me later on, but tell me when I'm asking... I mean, I may not like things in your story. I may not talk to you afterwards because of what you told me. But having that full disclosure, and then me myself knowing, okay, this is what happened. This is his past. Do I go forward or not? Do I continue judging him based on his past? I think once you hear the past, you can't 2 years later, oh, remember that time when you were with this person? I hate
hold it
that.
against them.
Yeah, I hate that. So
yeah, I agree. I think like it also depends on whether both of the partners have a past or not. Like, if one person only has a past and the other person's like, never done anything, hasn't like seen anything, whatever, I think that person might be more affected by the other person's past.
Right.
Like, I feel like they would like kind of be like, well, it would bother them because they have nothing for the other partner to worry about, and it's not the other way around. Right. So I think it depends, and I don't think it's wrong to be upset about someone's past, but I also think you need to recognize that as long as it's their past, like actually their past, it's done and over with, and you should give the person an opportunity to be a changed person.
I agree.
To show you what they are now in the present. And that's really important, because if you're constantly going to be bringing up the past and holding it against them, you're not going to be experiencing the current person. You're going to always drag the past version of that person. And I think that's unhealthy in a relationship. And I don't think you would want that either if that was you with the past, right? I think you would just want people just like, forget about it, know? And I do agree with the full disclosure thing where you kind of share everything up front. But a lot of people also tell me, like, Islamically, you're not required to talk about your sins or your past or whatever. But... And I guess I could see the benefit of that. Like, you should hide whatever is your past. But I think I would want to know everything about my partner.
I think so too.
Like, I feel like if my partner, like, used to club or whatever, like, I would want to know, because it also shapes the type of person they are today. And maybe something that we're doing today could be triggering to them because of their past or something, whatever, It's like, I want to know every single detail.
Everything.
Everything.
Well, let's just put it this way. If you know that the past is the past... keep going.
Yeah, keep going into future.
Oh, we're giving like advice.
I know, right?
Relationship
we're Dr.
advice.
Phil right over here. Does it matter if he doesn't have a stable career or goal?
Ooh. Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Because I don't even think it's about money.
No,
it's not. It's about having a drive, like a purpose. I feel like that's very attractive in a partner, and it's also very needed in a partner.
I absolutely agree.
Because if they don't, and they don't have any drive or purpose or career or goal, like, they're just existing, what are you gonna do? Like, you can't just exist with them. Someone has to do it, and if it's only on you and not the guy, then it's gonna be an imbalance there. So I don't know. I feel like it's definitely necessary.
I agree with you. Like, for example, if you're an educated woman, in my opinion, it's difficult to then marry someone that's not educated, doesn't have any goals, just is living, as she's saying. Your mentality, I don't think it's going to be on the same level, and I think that's going to cause problems within the relationship.
Yeah.
So having let's say I'm not educated and I marry someone that's uneducated, doesn't have a job, blah blah blah, we're the same level, I think it works. But when it's the other way around, I think it's a little bit problematic. May cause problems, maybe not, but in my head, I think it's preferable. I can't say it's absolutely necessary, but it's a preference for a lot of girls that I know, at least.
And you're allowed to have that preference. Like,
Yeah.
don't ever let anyone tell you, like, no, you should just take what you get, you know? That's not right. I think everyone should have a preference and should be encouraged to seek their preference. Obviously, don't have, like, a weird expectation, like unnecessary expectation, but, like, you should definitely have a preference and you should definitely seek that. I don't think there's anything wrong with seeking someone that has a career and a goal and being, like, ambitious. I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, I agree.
This one's a good one.
Okay.
Was it difficult to mesh and adjust to your in-laws?
Oh. I actually, go ahead.
Okay. So if Summer wasn't here, I would
let's hear it.
no, honestly, okay, first of all, it's always weird to join a new family.
Yeah.
I think regardless of how good or how bad the family is, it's always a little weird because there's new things that you got to learn. It's a whole new family, whole new culture within that family, even if we're both Lebanese, right?
Yeah.
But like every family has their own culture and norms. So adjusting and learning their norms and kind of trying to fit in is always a little like challenging at first. Right. But my personal experience, it was very like easy, I would say, because I felt like her mom and her dad were kind of similar to my mom and my dad in terms of like how we grew up and how we were raised. And I felt very welcome there. I mean, Summer didn't really do a good job at that, but
I'm just going to leave her video.
But other than that, no, like I feel like it wasn't hard to mesh into it, but it also depends. Like, let's say they were a different culture, like a different background. Maybe it would have been a little bit more challenging in terms of language barrier, like culture barriers. But you can always make it work if both parties are willing to make it work. If my in-laws weren't welcoming like they were, then maybe I would have a completely different answer.
Yeah.
But because they were welcoming and they were nice and all that, I feel like it was an easy transition.
Yeah, my parents were telling me that they were forced to like Jasmine.
Yeah.
So that's why
I kind of put
it was
a knife,
very easy. Yeah, no,
to
I told them like you gotta be good to her because.
Oh, you told them?
Yeah.
I think it's the other way around.
No, like I had to tell them everything because.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me more. What else do you know about her?
There's so much I can't tell you on cameras.
Oh,
No.
it's a private conversation?
It's a private conversation.
Oh. Well, okay, I'll take my answer back. It was not easy. Oh my God.
We welcomed her in with open arms.
Everyone else but Summer.
Okay, Jasmine actually admitted something.
Okay.
She told me that had she not liked me, she wouldn't have been open to the idea of Dawood. So
when did I say that?
He told me that.
I don't remember saying that.
Remember when we were sitting at the restaurant, you're like, oh, if I didn't really like you, like, I wouldn't have been open to the idea? Well, you know what? She has short-term memory loss.
I have the memory of a goldfish.
Yeah.
I especially don't remember that.
Of course. She doesn't remember details that are actually important, but okay.
Well, I mean, I do like you, though.
Thank
I don't
you.
know about now, but
That's why.
I
That's
did
the
like
first
you.
No.
I didn't let you have that compliment.
Wow. I can't win. Wow.
Anyways, guys, that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the questions. Did you have fun, Summer?
I did.
It was good? It was a
I
good
hope you learned
conversation?
something because I learned a lot from Jasmine today.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Well, that's great. I mean, if you watched my videos, you would learn a lot more.
That's weird watching you and Dawood. I just like to experience it in real life. Yeah.
You're missing out.
Not really.
We have a lot of cringy videos.
I know.
If you guys want a more career-oriented type of Q&A, because if you guys don't know, Summer is a lawyer. Yes. So if you guys want a more business/career-oriented Q&A, I'd love to have her again if you want, of course.
Sure, if you're nicer to me, I will agree.
That's not in our contract. But we'd love to do a video like that in the future, inshallah. So let us know if that's something you want to see. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And I'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.